Hi everyone, welcome back to this week Weekly Market Update. As usual, I will be talking about what's happening on last week and things to watch out for the coming week, and things to recap on what we have shared on my previous 2 weeks ago, some of the counter before the Chinese New Year. Alright, which I have already shared on the 15th of January, a couple of counters that actually turned out, uh, you know, at a positive side, maybe gaining quite a number of percentage, maybe almost above 10%. We'll recap on that, and as well as just two things to share with you guys as well. Firstly, we are still around the Chinese New Year corner, so 恭喜发财 everyone, to all the Chinese people out there, to all the Chinese people, all the followers out there. Remember to share and like this video if you guys think that this benefit you. Share. I mean, it's a sharing season, right? Share with your relative or friends. Hopefully, they benefit somehow or rather. And also, one thing just to share with you guys. If you have been following me for quite a while, you guys know that I've been during some certain period. I say that I will be taking a break because I'm preparing for my exam, and finally, on last week, I have managed to be awarded pass my exam. So basically, I'm taking this paper. It's a CFTE paper. Uh, this paper is actually mainly for people who are charting technicians. So you see, I have graduated from here. So the skill set is actually stated that this is all the skill set: risk management, trade ideas, behaviors, asset allocation, and technical analysis as well. So since doing as you guys know, doing charting is one of my passions, so I wish to see where can I go from here. All right, so getting this cert, it's not saying that getting this cert I'm very good in technical perspective. Just that to say that it's my passion. I just want to, continue pursuing this path along my journey. All right, so there's something good news to share with you guys. So let's take a look at what happening on the stock market last week. We can see that on last week's stocks, I believe during the Chinese New Year or after the Chinese New Year, stock have been going higher or higher, or perhaps at the start of 2023 is a good year, unlike what happened on 2022, right? So stock closed higher on Friday, especially on two index in Nasdaq and S&P 500. Not that obvious in Dow Jones. We can look at the chart later. All right. So what causes Nasdaq market spike? Firstly, I think it's due to the earnings report. One is on the Tesla, as you can see, up 11%. All right. So if you have been paying attention to my video, I have said that there's a support area between 100 to 120. If you manage to nimble at the point of time at current price and it's still going higher, perhaps you are really getting a ang pao, from the Chinese New Year from the market itself. All right. So another good news is actually from American Express. Market went even higher because of the strong guidance given on last week during the earnings report. Okay, of course, things don't seem good, which is Intel. Intel is very pretty sad because we know that chip stocks or this chip sector, right, or the industry is actually uh, always on demand. I can say that unless the supply, unless no one want to continue buy like during the COVID period. But Intel didn't survive and they reported a very very poor earnings report, and also give expectations that they are going to earn lesser perhaps on the coming quarter. So the market dropped when it opened, I think 9 or 10% below, and then it closed below 6%. So uh, however, fundamental wise, even company came out in warning. So in the fundamental wise, doesn't seem good. If you want to pick up the bottom, I hope we wait for a while before we go into Intel shares. All right. So that's my own personal opinions. So next, what are we going into? Whereby uh, next week, things to take note. Firstly, go into the economic calendar. All right. Next week is a heavy earnings. A heavy economy data. Basically, is on the non-farm payroll, unemployment rate on the Friday itself. All right, non-farm payroll, unemployment rate on Friday itself, but the most crucial one is on the FOMC statement, because this is the date the Fed interest rate decisions. All right, a lot of people is looking at 25 basis point with all the crumbs and all the hints, all the data report given previous week or previously. All right, so they say that from 75 jump to 50 previously, and right now going to 25 and left a few more times. All right, so this is what happening to the market when the rate getting lower. um, Market tend to go up. But one thing not to forget, all right, one thing not to forget, earnings report doesn't show everything. Why? Because earnings report, they actually reduce their expectation, firstly, all right, to meet the expectation. Second, yes, the rate is hiking at a slower pace, but the rate is at the high side, right? Correct or not? It's not at 0.25 before the COVID period. It's at the high side. All right. Company will still feel the pressure on it. Hopefully, this rate maintaining will cause the inflation to come down. Hopefully, there's a sign. Otherwise, the rate might continue from there as well. Okay, so next week, heavy economy data. Just be aware of your positions. Remember to manage well. Following by next week, also big earnings news from the technology side. Why? We can see that Facebook, all right, tech company, followed by Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, all the giants, elephants stocks reporting their earnings. All right, Intel kicking with a bad earnings. We shall see how the competitor AMD, which overtake their market cap, how will they perform by next week. All right, so a lot of data is coming up for next week, combining with the economy and earnings. So be cautious on your portfolio, or otherwise going for short terms, or remember to hedge, or just stay away. All right, so however, if you have your good risk management, you buy the low, you put a good support, by now you should be locking in your profit, or you should partially close your profit. At least you won't go empty handed when the market goes sour, right? Okay, so couple of things. Intel stock tumble after brutal result. This is what I mentioned. So go ahead and take a look, go ahead and have a read if you are holding Intel, or if you are eyeing to go into Intel. But like I say, not very good. All right, all the ratings analysts is trying to give cutting their rating. All right, some giving self call on Intel. So however, even though the CEO say that they may come back once again, but let's see before they come back. All right, we join them after they come back. All right, we don't join in before they come back. Okay, so that is what I mean. But for Intel company, next, one thing to watch out. We know that a lot of company is actually laying off their workers, their employers. Their employee. Right now, Boeing, right, is actually the one that increasing their worker. But this is the title of it. All right, they are actually increasing, expect to hire 10,000. Because of everyone taking airline going to fly, especially China. The unlock, right? We'll talk about it later. Is the next news. But take note, they are also lowering their staff within some support function. That means doesn't mean they're hiring 10,000, but in the meantime, they are also cutting. All right, jobs they are not relevant in the support role. So, but ultimately, tourists open, air flight start flying, air, air company, air industry might start ordering new plane, right? And Boeing is definitely there to strike. Okay, so one of the counter you can put it into your watch list and start monitoring the chart, see where is a good entry price. So Boeing is one on the fundamental that is hiring 10,000 that cause a positive sentiments out there. All right, next, China past COVID. Okay, this is what I keep saying. After the Chinese New Year, COVID might surge, might spike. All right. However, China came out and said that since the previous highest spike record in December, after the Lunar New Year, it seems like nothing is spiking. All right, and eventually it go lower. All right, so which is a good news. All right, because these actually say that they may open up fully sooner. All right, so this actually make a lot of tourist industry related company have a good run on last weeks. One of them, which I mentioned previously, is Airbnb. Second one, I mentioned we can look into Macau casino like MGM, Rain Resort, this kind of resort. I think they are performing extremely well. Lastly, you can go into trip.com or expedia.com, see how are they performing on the ticket wise. All right, we will go into that later as well. Okay, next is Tesla. All right, this is the favorite, right, which I talked about just now. So Tesla is always like a everybody dream in US. I don't know why, maybe due to the name of it, just like everyone need a house, need a home in US, right? Everyone love Tesla, all right, to be frank, wish to be a part of it. So no matter what, just a little bit of positive sentiments, right, it will cause the shares to spike up very, very fast. All right, we'll look in the chart later because this is one of the counter I will be going through. All right, so that's all for the news itself. Let's go directly to the chart. So on the chart wise, right, this is what I mentioned on 24th December. We will be trading between 32,800 to 34,000. All right, so where are we right now? So last Friday, last week we closed below 30. I think 33,978, close to 34,000. All right, fantastic. Okay, so that is the resistance range we are looking at right now. As you can see that the strength is not that strong comparing to Nasdaq or S&P 500. We can see it's more like a sideways or more like a forming a symmetrical triangle, right? If you want to say that. Okay, but if so, there is no, I can't see any upside or downside until one side break, right? But for Nasdaq, okay, for Nasdaq, okay, so this is what I mentioned on the January of 8. If we able to break above 12,000, okay, we'll be showing some good sign. Okay, so last Friday we closed at 12,166. Not fantastic. First, you give a first sign, break above the resistance line. Okay, so we need to monitor how next week perform, or perhaps how the next few weeks perform, because it's a tech earnings report. It may, if let's say things go sour, it may come down. Here will become a resistance. Fair enough, right? So this must break successfully, or otherwise, usually I would suggest we wait for a better pullback before we go and enter long. Okay, and then if able to break, continue hold. If not, this stop loss shall protect you. Okay, so I mean, you want to chase from here from next week, I will stop you, but your risk reward will be slightly higher. Okay, so this is subjective to individual risk appetite. So if you're telling me is this a bull sign, I say yes. Is it change from bear to bull? I would say yes. But is it a technical change? I would say yes. Okay, so sorry, just to repeat myself. Have the economy turned better? May not be. But on a technical perspective, yes, it's showing some upside. Okay, so this is what I mean. So a couple of resistance we shall be watching at. First is this resistance, 12,000, immediate. Hopefully we can break. Next, we will be looking at the previous high, which is around 13,800. Okay, around here. Okay, so this is where we will be looking at. Of course, intermediate, I mean, you can use a Fibonacci level, like how I always use it, if you want to. All right, so you shall see this is one. All right, this is the 50%, that's why I say 30,800, and then next is the 38.2. So if it breaks successfully, we shall see the first resistor at 13,000 before the next 50%. Okay, so this is what I'm mentioning. I draw the line before the Fibo. I didn't use the Fibo previously. All right, I didn't know it's 4 on the 50%. Okay, so if you have been drawing, you have been charting, you should have some gauge, some sentiments from there. Okay, so on Nasdaq's wise, we shall see what happened next week before we have a more clearer picture. If you want to go in when the market open on Monday, please be aware, tech earnings report on Wednesday, kick off. All right, just watch out. So next counter, we will be looking into some recap first. All right, some recap like Tesla. Oh. All right, let's see. Oops, it's not loading. Let me see what happened. So okay, oops. let's see another counter. Why is it not loading? Give me a second, guys. Alright, we shall see. Oops. Something happened. Okay, let me go to. Alright, so some technical issue. Alright, so let's see on Tesla first. Okay, so this is Tesla. Alright, this is what I draw previously, right? On 8 Jan, I think before Chinese New Year, right? So this is a support area. I said everyone is hoping to hop into add Tesla into their portfolio in 2023. Any sign of strength in Tesla may see the price moving up quickly. Alright, so a weekly candle, this is a weekly chart hitting $100. The first, this red color hitting the 100 may not be as strong as a multi-weekly candle support area. So it's just a touch and bounce up. Alright, what I'm expecting is a few touches, but this touch doesn't mean you can't enter. Therefore, may continue to nimble first. Alright, so anyone who actually nimble or anyone who actually averaged in previously doing dollar cost averaging, right? Congratulations. I think this is a very significant 30-40% riding through at when you get at the support price. Okay, so where are we looking at for Tesla? Right now hitting the 180. We may revisit this support area, all right, before we determine. So there is chance between 180 200 uh before we determine where next. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at for Tesla. Once again, congratulations if you follow the trade. Next counter which I write in my Facebook page is actually Shopify. All right, I written here. Okay, I written here, good opportunity with good risk reward. Can you see where is this posted? On the 15th January. 15th January is basically on, okay, over here, right? This candle. So if you're able to buy, all right, upside, we are looking at 54, 55. Last week close around $50. We are $4 shy off to the resistance. Okay, when you buy in previously 38, you cut at 30, is $8 differences. Right now you are earning more than $8, so the risk reward is definitely more than one. Congratulations if you have entered into these positions. All right, and I will continue to hold. Doesn't mean it reach 54, 55. I will take my profit. I may took partially and then see how it right from there. Okay, so congratulations once again on Shopify. Next counter we will be looking in Coinbase. Coinbase I didn't return. I didn't put any notes, but I mentioned I was talking about it because due to the Bitcoin, right? Have to see the last video. There's some potential, especially when I said it actually fulfill. All right, if fulfill, what do I mean? People who know have been following, if fulfill my condition, break below, cut out all the support, all the stop loss, and then right back. All right, break the previous support, break, stop loss all triggered, come back again. This is the favorite candle I like. All right, so this is my trading style. Since it's come into play, I have long. All right, so it's subjective to individual. Next is CCL. CCL also fall into the category, right? That's why I am saying congrats. You earn 14% in a week itself. All right, so that is where I shared on the is 15, right? So you go up right now. Last week it go up again. Okay, so I will continue to hold until $15 where I hit my TP. Okay, so next is Airbnb. Okay, Airbnb the best. I mentioned on the 15th Jan. So 15th Jan. So Not I mentioned on 50 Jan, I mentioned on 8 Jan. No wonder I mentioned on 8 Jan. And then by 1 week itself, it hit my TP. That's why it's a 30% run. So people who actually took a partial profit and then continue right, alright, you are actually in the home run. Alright, what I say is the home run is the jackpot, the bonus. So where are we looking on Airbnb? Continue to hold because China is open up, tourism is very hot at the moment. Continue to hold. We shall see 123, 125, the next resistance. Alright, this is the range. Okay, to 130. Okay, so this is where we will be looking at. Okay, so that is for Airbnb. People who didn't enter previously, right, and you try to catch this leftover meat, I can say that. Okay, your risk exposure is high. So if you want a short-term trade, just be aware. Next counter, we will be looking into okay, so it's time to introduce new counter, right? Watch list lah, put into your watch list. Doesn't mean you guys have to trade. Chargepoint, once again, we are back to this counter. Used to be my favorite, right? Strictly for trading, huh? Okay, but this is previously, as you can see, it's a January 2022, right? So let's delete all the line. Okay, so let's delete all the line. As you can see, this is a previous resistance, break up, come down, touch support. Okay, so right now we can see for Chargepoint, it come into my favorite again, gentlemen. It come to my favorite, if you realize, okay, we can see that it has been ranging since then. Okay, market spike up due to all the EV. Market come down, touches one time, supported. Come down, touches one time. People think it was support, but it break below, trigger all the stop loss, go up right now. True or not? And what is the sales for EV right now? You determine yourself. What is the price for all the EV, the NIO, the Li, the Tesla, whatever? Okay, the BYD. This Chargepoint, go and Google it, is actually supplying the system for people to charge their EV, right? The electrical system. They are the biggest, all right, in the market shares. So that's why I'm talking about Chargepoint. Okay, so right now they hit my first resistance, used to be a support at 12. Once they break through, I will go to 17 next. So I think this risk reward is quite awarding. A $10 you can put as a stop loss, $2 risk, $5 reward. This is like 1:2.5 or more than 2. Okay, so this is one of the counter. Be watching closely. This is the weekly chart. Don't expect it to be very volatile. It can be if you want to, but why? Because it's a to be frank, looking at the fundamental, they are still not earning the real first part of goals because they are expanding, right? When we are at the initial stage, usually they, it's a burning cash environment. Okay, but things will get better and you are investing for the future itself. Okay, you can have car, but if you have no electric charges, then what's the point, right? So they are actually the biggest. So you can consider for long-term investment wise. Next counter we'll be looking into back to Katie, right? We know who is she, Katie Wood. All right, miserable. Okay, I'll be saying start to buying. Okay, seems like things got well supported. Okay, and it also fall under my I don't need to repeat one more time. You guys can pay very close attention. What do I mean? All right, by now, what do I mean? So a good risk reward with Tesla, one of their biggest portfolio. She added into Tesla when Tesla dropped. She said, all right. So if you like this counter, 40 is a good entry price. 49.50 is a good resistance. All right, cut below 32 or 33. Okay, cut below 32, 33. This is the resistance. This will form a firm resistance after this thing form out. Okay, so that is my own perspective, my own methodologies. You can have your own method. Okay, if you like to follow, congrats, and then wish you all the best. Wish me all the best, right? Okay, so next counter we will be looking into. All right, I just want to introduce two more. Put more into your watch list, and then we start monitoring. Okay, so this is carbon ETF. Okay, please Google and read up what is this carbon ETF before you plunge your price or your money into it. All right, so it's very volatile. You can see there's many gaps, so be aware, be cautious when you want to enter. So look at the weekly chart. 50% seems good support. This is, just go and Google it. All right, I'm not going to explain. So I think there's some upside when the industry of tourists open up. Manufacturers start opening up. They need more petrol to start flying. They need more carbon, right? So yes, I see some rebound from this point of time. We are looking at 61.8% as the first resistance. This is the low of the price. Yes, we may see that it might be forming a bull or the flat before it comes down, correct? But this leg have not formed yet. We will not know how high it go. Okay, so subjective to individuals. See whether you are keen or you like this counter. Put into your watch list as well. All right, we are going to half an hour. So this is the last counter I'm saying. Okay, fever. All right, so there we go. Okay, so this is the U-turn. We can see that a lot of counter is forming the U-turn. To be frank, you can go and Google it. Okay, you can go and find all the counter out there. We can see a lot of things is going U-turn. Okay, so we write according with the trend. We can see the Nasdaq is breaking above. We write according to the trend. Okay, so if let's say Nasdaq is showing some pullback, you may want to hold on for a while before you buy in, or you set a limit order, buy at a slightly lower price. If you want to change, also possible, the mid will be slightly lesser compared to those people wait for the price to come to them. But your stop loss shall not be different. You should be the same as well, maybe 26. All right, so where are we looking at? The first resistance level around 50, 55. Okay, so there's still some mid over here. I think it's kind of like decent for me to pick it up. Okay, next thing, when you want to go long, please, there are many counter that has been burned badly during the COVID period. Pick up those with good fundamental. All right, you want to pick up like those kind of Tesla, or those kind of big caps like Amazon, Google, by all means. But take note, those companies showing their earnings report next week. Okay, so that's all for my this week weekly market update. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Please remember to share and like. Just do me a favor, just share and like, because I'll be sharing more on the market update. Not only on that, because right now, I didn't really touch on how to do technical analysis. This kind of courses. To guide you guys out there, mainly because I feel more comfortable after securing the cert itself. All right, so at least it's proven. All right, so I will be starting some sharing some YouTube video on how to do trading, things to watch out for beginners, because that is where they need the help the most, right? From there start on. So people who are really willing to pick up this skill set, please just follow my YouTube channel. Then if I share anything, they will be the first to know as well. Okay, so that's all for my this week weekly market update. Thank you everyone. Once again, happy Chinese New Year. Goodbye. Enjoy your weekend.